All right, so we're diving into some RoleCatcher resources today to help you prep for a quality engineer interview.
Yeah, they've got a ton of great stuff. Career guides, interview questions, and even a sneak peek into their AI tools.
AI tools, now that sounds interesting. What can those do?
Well, one of the coolest things is they can actually analyze job descriptions and give you feedback on how to tailor your resume and answers.
So it's like having a personalized coach for your job search.
Exactly. But before we get to the AI, let's make sure we understand the basics. What does a quality engineer actually do?
Right, break it down for us.
Basically, they're responsible for defining and upholding quality standards for products or services.
Okay, so they're the ones making sure everything is up to snuff.
Yeah, you could say that. They're the guardians of quality, making sure everything meets those standards, and also leading the charge on improvements.
It's a pretty crucial role then.
Yeah.
What's the work environment like for a quality engineer?
Um, it's a bit of a mix. Some days you might be in the office analyzing data and working with different teams.
Okay, so some office work.
Yeah. Right. But then other days you could find yourself on the production floor overseeing those quality control processes in action.
Interesting. So it's not just a desk job.
Definitely not. And sometimes you might even have to travel to different locations.
Sounds dynamic. I saw in the RoleCatcher Career Guide that automation and data analytics are becoming really important in the field.
Oh, absolutely. Efficiency is key in quality control, and automation helps streamline a lot of those processes. Plus, data analytics allows those quality engineers to spot issues and trends much faster.
So it's all about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And the good news is the job outlook is pretty positive too, projected to grow by 6% over the next 10 years.
That's encouraging to hear. Okay, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the interview itself. The RoleCatcher Guide has a bunch of sample interview questions. Let's start with this one. How did you first become interested in quality engineering?
Ah, yes, that classic opener. It's your chance to really showcase your passion.
What kind of things should people focus on when answering this?
Think back to any experiences, coursework, or even personal projects that sparked your interest. Maybe you were always fascinated by how things work, or loved taking things apart and putting them back together.
So it's all about finding that genuine connection, right?
Absolutely. And be ready for follow-up questions. They might ask, what aspect of quality engineering excites you the most?
So you have to be prepared to go a little deeper.
Exactly. You want to connect your interests to the specific responsibilities of the role. Okay, next question. How do you ensure that all products meet the required quality standards?
Okay, this one seems a bit more technical.
It is. This is where you showcase your process. Talk about your approach to testing, data analysis, and collaboration with different teams.
It's all about showing them, your stuff.
Right, and be specific. Mention any quality control principles or tools you use, like Six Sigma methodologies or statistical process control.
So drop some industry jargon.
Exactly. And be ready for a follow-up question, like, can you describe a time you identified a potential quality issue and the steps you took to address it?
So have a specific example ready to go.
Right, one that really demonstrates your problem-solving skills.
Okay, moving on to another question. How do you approach root cause analysis when a quality issue arises?
So this is like detective work, right? Figuring out why something went wrong.
Exactly. Walk them through your investigation process. Explain how you identify potential causes, collaborate with teams to pinpoint the root cause, and most importantly, implement solutions to prevent it from happening again.
So it's not just about fixing the problem, but understanding why it happened in the first place.
Absolutely. And be prepared for a follow-up, like what's the most challenging root cause analysis you've tackled and what did you learn from it? This shows you can learn from your experiences. You know what I find really helpful is that RoleCatcher's AI can actually analyze your answers to these questions.
Yeah, their AI is pretty amazing. It can provide tailored feedback based on the specific job you're applying for. Exactly. It's like having a personalized coach giving you tips on how to improve your responses. Okay, let's move on to another question. How do you prioritize quality issues when resources are limited?
Oh, that's a tough one. How do you even begin to answer that?
You start by outlining your prioritization process. Explain how you assess the severity of the issue, its impact on customers, and the potential risks. Then highlight how you collaborate with teams to allocate resources effectively. This shows you can make tough decisions.
Makes sense. Collaboration seems to be a recurring theme in these questions.
Absolutely. It's a crucial skill for any quality engineer. Now let's tackle this one. How do you stay updated on industry trends and best practices?
So this is about continuous learning, right?
Absolutely. Share how you stay informed. Do you attend conferences, read industry publications, participate in webinars? Mention specific resources you follow, like the American Society for Quality or Quality Engineering magazine.
Show them you're proactive about staying up to date.
Right, and always tie it back to how you're constantly improving your skills. Okay, another question. How do you ensure consistent quality standards across different locations?
That sounds like a logistical challenge.
It can be. Focus on your process for ensuring consistency. Do you develop standardized procedures, conduct regular audits, or provide centralized training programs? Explain how you keep everyone on the same page regardless of location.
Communication and collaboration again.
Exactly. Highlight your ability to work effectively with remote teams and maintain a unified approach to quality control. Okay, last question for this section. How do you manage stakeholder expectations when quality issues arise?
This feels like a delicate situation.
It is, but it's also an opportunity to showcase your communication and problem-solving skills. Transparency is key.
Yeah.
Explain how you provide regular updates, honestly outlining the problem, the steps being taken, and realistic timelines for resolution.
So it's about managing those expectations and keeping everyone in the loop.
Exactly. And remember, you can use RoleCatcher's AI to practice your answers to these questions and get personalized feedback. That's a huge advantage in today's competitive job market. All right, let's keep going with these interview questions. We've got a lot to cover.
Okay, fire away. What's next?
This one really focuses on that proactive approach to quality. How do you ensure quality is built into products from the earliest stages of development? It's not just about inspecting the final product.
It's about getting involved from the get-go.
Exactly. Explain how you'd collaborate with design and engineering teams, identifying those potential quality issues early on and working together to prevent them.
So you're not just reacting to problems, but preventing them in the first place.
Right. And you can use this question to talk about your experience with design reviews, risk assessments, and early-stage testing.
That makes sense. Okay, what else do we have?
Let's move on to a more data-driven question. How do you measure the effectiveness of quality control and assurance processes?
Getting into the numbers now.
Exactly. This one is all about showcasing your analytical skills.
So it's about showing them you can use data to make informed decisions.
Right. Talk about your process for tracking key performance indicators, conducting audits, and gathering feedback.
Like what kind of metrics would a quality engineer track?
Things like defect rates, customer satisfaction scores, or cycle times for resolving issues.
So you're constantly evaluating and improving those processes.
Exactly. Now remember those AI tools we touched on earlier. RoleCatcher's AI can be a game changer when it comes to interview prep.
Yeah, that AI is pretty amazing.
Imagine having AI analyze your responses to these complex questions and give you personalized feedback.
It's like having a personal coach giving you tips on how to improve.
Exactly. It takes the guesswork out of interview preparation and boosts your confidence. Okay, ready for another question?
Hit me.
This one's a bit more philosophical. What are your thoughts on the role of automation in quality engineering?
That's an interesting one.
It's not a simple yes or no answer. It's about understanding the nuances, the benefits, and challenges of automation.
So it's about striking that balance.
Right.
Technology can help, but it can't replace human expertise.
Exactly. You can talk about how automation improves efficiency and accuracy, but also the importance of human oversight and critical thinking.
Makes sense. Okay, what's the next question?
This one often comes up. Describe a time when you had to solve a complex quality issue. What was your approach?
Oh, this is a chance to really shine, right? Showcase your skills and experience.
Absolutely. Choose a specific example, one that highlights your analytical thinking, your ability to gather information, and your collaboration skills.
And what should you focus on when explaining your approach?
Walk them through the steps you took, the challenges you faced, and the solution you've implemented. Don't forget to mention the outcome. Did your solution improve quality? Did it save the company time or money?
So show them the impact you made.
Exactly. And hey, remember, RoleCatcher's AI can help you practice these responses and get feedback on how to make them even better.
It's like having a virtual coach in your corner. Okay,
Exactly.
let's keep going.
All right, next question. What are some of the most common quality management tools and techniques you're familiar with?
So this is where you get to show off your technical knowledge.
Right. Mention things like statistical process control, root cause analysis, FMEA, Six Sigma methodologies.
A lot of acronyms there.
Yeah, quality engineering has its fair share. But be prepared to explain what each tool or technique is and how it's used.
So don't just rattle off a list. Connect it back to your experience.
Exactly. Show them you've actually used these tools to solve real-world problems.
All right, ready for a question that focuses on interpersonal skills.
Sure, bring it on.
Tell me about a time you had to work with a difficult team member to resolve a quality issue. How did you handle the situation?
Ooh, that's a tricky one.
It is, but it's also a great opportunity to demonstrate your communication skills, your ability to stay calm under pressure, and your conflict resolution skills.
So how should you approach this kind of question? Choose an example that shows how you navigated a challenging situation. Explain the challenges you faced and the steps you took to resolve the issue. Focus on the positive outcome. Did you build a better working relationship? Did you learn any valuable lessons?
It's about showing them you can handle those tough interpersonal situations.
Right. Okay, another one. What are you doing to stay updated on the latest trends and technologies in quality engineering?
Back to continuous learning.
Yep. This shows your commitment to staying ahead of the curve.
So what kind of things should you mention?
Your involvement in professional organizations like ASQ, the conferences you attend, the publications, you read, the online courses you take, even any certifications you're pursuing.
So show them you're invested in your professional development.
Exactly. Okay, let's shift gears to a more big picture question. How do you see the role of quality engineering evolving in the future?
Interesting. Now we're getting strategic.
Right. This is your chance to demonstrate your knowledge of industry trends and your ability to think ahead.
So what kind of things could you talk about?
The increasing role of automation and AI, the growing importance of data analytics and predictive modeling, even the ethical considerations of using AI in decision-making.
So show them you're not just focused on the present, but thinking about the future of the field.
Exactly. Okay, one last question for this section. Describe a time when you had to lead a team to achieve a quality improvement goal. What were the challenges and how did you overcome them?
A leadership question.
Yeah.
This is a chance to showcase your ability to motivate and inspire others.
Right. Choose an example that highlights your ability to set goals, delegate tasks, communicate effectively, and resolve conflicts.
So walk them through the process and the positive outcome.
Exactly. And remember, you can practice all these answers with RoleCatcher's AI and get feedback to really polish your responses. Okay, I think we've covered a good range of interview questions for now.
That was a lot of great information.
Yeah.
Now I'm curious about career progression. How does someone actually climb the ladder in quality engineering?
That's a great question. And luckily, RoleCatcher's career guide provides some excellent insights. So we've talked a lot about the interview itself, but let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. RoleCatcher's career guides are really helpful for this.
Yeah, they dive into what it actually means to be a quality engineer.
Exactly. Like, remember how we talked about the work environment being a mix of office and production floor? Well, the guide goes into detail about that. It even mentions the possibility of travel for overseeing quality control processes at different locations.
So you really get a feel for what the day-to-day might look like.
Right. It paints a realistic picture. And speaking of realistic, the guide also talks about industry trends.
Like automation and data analytics.
Exactly. Those are huge right now. And the guide doesn't just mention them, it explains why they're important and how they're changing the role of a quality engineer.
So it helps you connect the dots between what's happening in the industry and what skills you need to develop.
Right. It even suggests specific certifications like CQE or Six Sigma to boost your credibility and show employers you're serious about staying ahead of the curve.
Okay, so we've got the big picture. Now let's zoom back in on those interview questions.
Sounds good. RoleCatcher has a whole separate guide dedicated to interview prep, and it's packed with sample questions.
Like a ridiculous amount of questions.
I know it's a lot.
Yeah.
But the good news is they don't just list them out. They actually break down each question and explain what the interviewer is really looking for.
That's super helpful.
It is. They provide tips on the best way to answer potential pitfalls to avoid and even sample responses.
So it's like a cheat sheet for acing the interview.
Exactly. Let's take an example. Remember that question about prioritizing quality issues when resources are limited?
Oh yeah, that was a tough one.
Well, RoleCatcher's guide explains that the interviewer is assessing your strategic decision-making skills. Can you weigh the severity of the issue, its impact on customers, and the potential risks to make those difficult choices?
That makes a lot of sense. You can't always tackle everything at once.
Right. And the guide also reminds you to highlight your collaboration skills. How would you work with other teams to effectively allocate those limited resources?
Okay, so it's not just about having the right answer. It's about showing them how you think.
Exactly. And remember, RoleCatcher also has that awesome AI tool that can analyze your actual interview answers and give you personalized feedback.
Oh yeah, that AI is a game changer.
It really is.
Yeah.
You can practice your answers, record yourself, and get AI-powered suggestions on everything from your delivery to your body language.
It's like taking the guesswork out of interview prep.
Right, and you can practice with specific questions tailored to quality engineer roles, so you're going into that interview feeling confident and prepared.
I like it. So RoleCatcher helps you with the interview itself, but they also support you even after the interview, right?
Absolutely. Their career guides offer advice on things like salary negotiation, career progression, and even navigating those first few months in a new role.
It's like they've got your back throughout your entire quality engineer journey.
Exactly. So to wrap things up, we've covered a lot of ground today. We talked about what a quality engineer does, the skills you need to succeed, and how to prepare for that all-important interview.
And we can't forget about those amazing AI tools that RoleCatcher offers. They can really take your prep to the next level.
Absolutely. So to all the aspiring quality engineers out there, I encourage you to check out RoleCatcher and see how their resources can help you land your dream job.
It's a fantastic resource for anyone in the field, whether you're just starting out or looking to level up your career.
And remember, the field of quality engineering is always evolving, so never stop learning, never stop growing, and never stop striving for excellence.
Well said. That's a great note to end on. So to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of quality engineering.